Hi, my name is Fred Bolden. What advice I would give to students? I think the best thing you can do is say, don't think about now as where you are. Think about it as just the starting point of where you can be. You know, I was an average student, would be a fair thing to say. I enjoyed my high school experience tremendously, but if you were to ask my teachers that I would be the superintendent of the Solon City School District, they would have said, no, probably not. But you know, you grow and you learn as you get older, and just, if you're a kid and you're thinking about that and you're thinking about your future, just give yourself that opportunity to grow and learn, because you never know where you're going to end up. So if you're talking about the school experiences that led to my success, if you're talking about like my K through 12 experience that led to my success, I think it has to do with the teachers that I had. I had some incredible teachers and some not so incredible teachers. And I think when I decided to go into education, I think it was because of them. I had teachers that I said, I want to do that for kids. And then I had other teachers who said, I want to do the opposite of that for kids. And so when I think about those experiences, I think that it helped shape the educator that I am today. I was in band. If we're talking about what I did in high school, I started out in the marching band. I played baritone, then I played sousaphone, and then I transitioned into athletics, and so I was on the football team and I wrestled. I used to always hang out with, there was a chemistry teacher we had named Mr. Reinhardt, and I always used to like to hang out in his office because, you know, chemistry was really cool. I wasn't very good at it, but I really liked it. So I think the opportunities for me, I think I took advantage of what the teachers had to tell me. I took advantage of, I listened to what they had to say. I enjoyed talking to the teachers. It was interesting when I was doing my walkthrough of the building today, I saw that very same thing where the students that were guiding me, they had great relationships with their teachers, and I think that's a great thing to do to help push you forward, because there's a lot of, when I was a kid I didn't realize it, but there's a whole lot of wisdom there to take advantage of. Well, if you ask my wife, she will tell you that my entire aspiration in life was to be a 4th grade teacher. And I started out teaching 5th and 4th grade. And every time there was an opportunity to do something different that allowed me to impact more kids, I would always take that opportunity. So I shifted from being a 4th grade teacher to being a technology teacher, to being a curriculum developer, to an assistant principal, to a principal. It wasn't necessarily that I said, hey, I want to do those things. It was, this is an opportunity that I can take to become a better version of myself and to help more kids. And so for me, it was always about how can I impact the greatest number of kids. Benjamin Moore paints is the way I found my passion. My junior year in college, I spent a summer working at the Benjamin Moore paint factory. And for 8 to 10 hours a day, I would put 4-gallon cans of paint in a box and tape it closed over and over and over and over again. And when I did that, it really opened my eyes to say, that's not what I want to do with my life. You know, it was a summer job, and I was doing it to get money to help for college and things like that. But I realized after spending 8 to 10 hours a day putting 4-gallon cans of paint in a box over and over and over again, it said to me, I really want to commit myself to my education so that I'm not doing this for a living.
The advice I'd give to students now is try and be active in your community in volunteerism. There's so many things out there that need young students and young people's energy. So get involved, find places, whether it's your church, whether it's in the community, whether it's through American Legions, through the school, any place that you can be active volunteer-wise, please get involved. I think working with great administration, they really nurtured me and helped me grow up and learn to do things that I'm proud of doing. So I definitely say the administration in the school district. Opportunities I took advantage of, I would say, was learning experiences, working with staff members, working with the administration, working with custodial staff, with cafeteria staff. All those people gave me opportunities to learn different things to do. Experience to achieve my dreams, I would say maybe one, Dolly Hummer from the cafeteria helped me learn cooking, and I've done some catering because of that. And Pat Loria helped me learn a lot about volunteerism, and since then I've done a lot of it, volunteerism in the community, and I really appreciate doing that. I don't really know the answer to that. I think it just happened in life. My passion just happened in life. I just always liked students, so I guess my passion would be working with students and helping them learn more.
My full name is Paul Joseph Angelo. The advice that I would give students at Berea Mid-Park High School today is that they take advantage of all the opportunities that they have in front of them. I benefited so greatly from my involvement in sports. I did wrestling and soccer, cross-country, track, but also speech and debate, which was structured so much of the way that I think about presentation and the world today. The most formative experience that influenced the success that I currently enjoy was a trip that I took in the year 2000 with Miss St. Marie, who's now Mrs. Pinter, to Cuernavaca, Mexico. I currently work in executive education for Spanish-speaking and Portuguese-speaking Latin American and Caribbean audiences, mostly government officials, but also representatives from academia, civil society. And so Spanish is a skill that I use on a daily basis for the work that I do at the Department of Defense. And it would have never been that way, and I would have never been on this path had it not been for the chance that I had to travel to Mexico when I was 14. At a time that was also a particularly unique moment in Mexico's own history. We were there for the election that put an end to 71 years of authoritarian rule. And so to be in Mexico at a time when the country was experiencing a democratic transition really impacted the way that I understand the world and my role in it. I took advantage of nearly every opportunity that Mid-Park put in front of me. I was a very busy student. As I already mentioned, I participated in 4 different sports. I was every Saturday during the winter was at speech and debate as a Lincoln Douglas debater and sometimes as a foreign extem speaker. I was also the vice president and then president of the Key Club. I was on the executive council, I think we called it, as a senior. I did all kinds of volunteer work as well on the side, and I studied a whole lot. I was kind of a weird student in the sense that I didn't accept anything less than 100% from myself when it came to taking tests or turning in assignments. So I would give myself more homework than I needed because I was simply an obsessive perfectionist. Probably took it to a bit of an extreme, but nonetheless, I think in doing so, I made the most out of my experience at Mid-Park High School. I think the most important influence I had at Mid-Park High School, frankly, was speech and debate. Speech and debate taught me how to structure arguments, how to argue both verbally and in composition, and really gave me a framework or a mindset for how to approach problem solving in the world. And it's something that I used on a daily basis as a junior officer in the U.S. Navy, which I was in charge of division of people on a ship that was in politically or diplomatically perilous waters, quite literally. And the skills that I took advantage of in speech and debate came to influence the way that I understood what we were doing and the way that I communicated our mission or the work that we were doing on a ship to my junior sailors. Likewise, I am a writer. I published a book earlier this year about U.S. security assistance to Colombia and Mexico. And all of my writing skills, whether it's grammatical skills or composition, all derived out of the good work that I learned, frankly, from my mentors in speech and debate, and particularly, namely, Ms. Vicki Balzer. My career has been really varied, and so it's hard for me to pinpoint a single experience that has helped me achieve my dreams. And I think I'm still in the process of achieving my dreams. The most important experiences, I think, were those in which I probably had the least amount of fun. The most formative experiences I had were the most difficult ones, whether it was being out on a ship at sea for 6 months, going weeks on end without contact with the rest of the world, not even being able to send emails off the ship. And this is pre-smartphone, pre-inundation with social media era, to living and working in particularly hairy situations or hairy areas of Colombia. I was an advisor to the Colombian military and their counterinsurgency and counterterrorism campaign in some pretty dangerous parts of the country. And as I was mentioning to students earlier today, you don't take a whole lot for granted when you see such precarity around you, whether it's poverty or food insecurity or drug violence. And I'd say that those are the experiences in which I grew the most and continue to inform or shape the way that I approach the world today.
My name is Dennis Earl Kushlak. Get involved. That's the thing that just going there from whatever it is these days, 8 to 2:30, is not a very fulfilling life, I don't think. If you really want to stretch yourself out and expand your horizons, find something. You may not be passionate, but maybe you'll get involved in something that you have a little interest in, and you will become passionate. That's been my motto in so many different things. My experience in math classes, I had great math teachers here at Berea High, and I just was on a class visitation, and I talked to them. My thought was I was going to be a professional athlete, but I told them I didn't have the speed to do it. But the preparation that I got at Berea High in mathematics was my ticket. I loved math. I was able to, when I was done with college football, I could work and be a coach and teach math, and I did so for lots of years. I would say the chance to know people who open doors for you. Networking, I think that's eventually got to be called. It seems if you look at my resume, I was moving around to different jobs, but that was really networking. People that I knew, they would say, hey, why don't you come and join us over here? And I had new challenges available all the time. Just had to look for them and keep my ears open. Working with youth. I mean, that, as they say, that keeps you young. It's always another bunch of new kids coming in to challenge you. Always looking to say, hey, coaching was what I was really into, as well as teaching math. And you'd always see that kid in junior high, and you'd say, hey, maybe he's going to take us to the state championships, Loved working with kids on the playground, really. Berea was a great place. I think Little League was born here back in the early 50s. Coming here to Berea High, or being rather in Berea, I had Baldwin Wallace. My dad took me to all the football games, all the basketball games, and I just got so, as you say, passionate about that. And I was just explaining in Mr. Pison's class, I developed such a competitive spirit. I just never wanted to leave the field a loser. So I think the community inspired me to follow athletics, and my folks giving me the opportunity.
My full name is Anthony Kleem. My advice to give students now is to learn as much as you can in multiple fields. So if you're going into art, you may want to also look into literature as well, or the theater. You're going into science, look in engineering, look at medical, look at multiple fields. The school experiences that led to my current success, I had two great Berea High School art teachers, Barb Wismar and Jerry Wilhelm, and they taught me the foundations of art. And then when I left Berea High School in '83, I wanted to be an artist. I had art classes, and they said I wasn't good enough. I didn't fit their bill. And I never went back to art school. I never did anything with my art until 2000, but I remembered Barb Wismar and Jerry Wilhelm's lessons in my head. That's what helped me along the way. The opportunities I took advantage of were actually negative at first. And I told the class when I taught them today, bad things are going to happen to you. They always do, but there could be an opportunity, could be a good thing that comes out of a bad thing. I injured my back in high school, and that injury came back again in the year 2000, where I was in a lot of pain, I couldn't sleep, and I began to take up art again. And that led me to this art journey that is very fulfilling and very satisfying. So a bad thing with my breaking my back ended up being a positive thing many, many years later. The experiences in my career that inspired my dreams, I didn't set out to think I was going to be this internationally and nationally known artist. I never dreamed of that. I just wanted to paint good art. Never thought I would be on puzzles, calendars, gift bags, products. I never really thought of that until it happened. I think my passion, how I found my passion, was through my mom's father, my grandfather. He was an artist, and he was a very good one. And I know I take genetically from my mom's side with the art. I just like to paint and create, and that's it.
Major Jason Cole, C4 is my call sign. The main advice that I give students now is just be passionate. Whether it's your studies, whether it's extracurriculars, whether it's doing this, you know, if you find your passion, it makes your career so much more enjoyable, and it makes things a lot easier to get up every morning and do what you love to do versus doing what you have to do. What school experiences led to my current success? Experiences being part of sports, part of football, and learning how to operate within a team is essential for the Air Force. Whether you're leading or you're following, learning that at a younger age is something that I use daily. I had many role models coming through Berea schools. Teachers that cared, had patience with me, even when I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. Those experiences have taught me, you know, maybe I haven't given everything that I need to, but I need to refocus my energy because I've been given the benefit of the doubt, or I've been given a second opportunity to do something, and that's when you know you need to make the most of it. There's no specific experience that has led to it. It's being a part of something that way bigger than me, of doing protecting the president, protecting Americans. Of you know, it's a rewarding job in and of itself. So no specific experience, but it's something that I can go to bed every night knowing that I had an impact on keeping you safe, keeping everybody in this room, everybody watching. That's my job, is make sure that we go to bed at night and wake up the next morning and America's protected. It was an accident. I met a guy through church. He took me over to him where he worked in upstate New York at Eastern Air Defense Sector. I was asking him, you know, what do you do? You're an air battle manager. What does that mean? And he rattled off what he said. I never remember. This is Huntress with an air defense scramble. Scramble 2 F-16s immediately, heading 240 at 16,000 feet. Contact. He spelled it all out, and it was just knowing that what he was doing was sending 2 F-16s up to find out what was going on in the air, whether it was something nefarious or an accident or whatever was going on. So it was an accident in that, you know, I just ran into this guy at church. He told me what he did. It sounded really awesome, and man, it has been. It's been an awesome 21 years. So as I moved up, it's been, my favorite thing is the people that I work with and what we do. So wherever the president goes, I have a team that's there. And I get to meet a lot of people through that, develop a lot of relationships, and then we pick up and we go somewhere else. And so I'm developing new relationships there. So that's the most rewarding part, is those relationships that are built over the years. And you know, working for NORAD and seeing the country everywhere, and any part of this country is somewhere that I've seen, and that's been really rewarding as well.
My name is Julie Kadri, and I am related to Dave Tressel. He is my father. He would encourage students to enjoy their experience in school, to work hard and study hard. And, you know, he taught for 35 years. He loved students, and so he would just encourage them to do their best. So my father was a middle school teacher for most of those 35 years, which is amazing to me after dabbling as a middle school teacher for a bit myself. And he never had a student, you know, sometimes teachers would have students that they would say, you know, this student is trouble, or the student is bad, but those were the students that my dad just thought were the most fun. And he would engage these students, and he always had something going on in his classroom that was interesting and that students wanted to be there. So he really had a positive attitude with his class. He loved his students, and that made him a successful teacher. He discovered his passion for teaching because he came from a family of educators. So he was surrounded by educators. He realized that he loved teaching, and he would practice and pretend to be a teacher when he was growing up. What stands out about the impact that my dad made on Berea City Schools would be anywhere that we would go as a family, if we would go out to eat, if we would go to the store. You could not get out of any environment without having, you know, several people come up and say, "Oh, Mr. Tressel, Mr. Tressel," because he not only, you know, taught 6th grade at Ray Middle School, Team 6A, but he also taught swimming lessons at the Berea outdoor pool for the city for years and years and years. I think he taught most kids in the city how to swim. So everybody knew him, and you could just tell from the impact and from the way people greeted him that he had an impact.
My name is Gary, last name Puntel. You know, I was very, very fortunate to have wonderful, wonderful teachers throughout and they were great models. So I guess my comments would be, not only do the work, but be as friendly as you can with your classmates and your teachers. And enjoy, but then get involved with other things. Clubs within your schools, whether it be sports or whatever it is. And that's very important, a part of your education. We started out in North Royalton, and the school that was there was already very, very old. And the principal of the school, we called her Nettie. That may not have been her first name, Nettie Gold. And boy, she was a bugger. You know, you don't want to be sent to Nettie Gold. But there was a family, because so many of us knew each other, not only just in the schools, but in our neighborhoods. And our neighborhoods spread out. and some of them worked on farms, you know, just all kinds of families that they came to. But everybody helped everybody. We were the first class when at that time, the new high school, North Royalton, we were the first class to come in as 7th grade. It went 7 through 12. In the 8th grade, and I got to tell you, I don't mean to embarrass my wife, but in the 8th grade American history class, and we knew everybody, their parents and all of a sudden this girl walks in, nobody knew her, so to speak. Long blonde hair, moved out from Cleveland. Her father had a place on State Road that inside of the Royalton. And as I became in my senior year, the class president, she was not only the treasurer, but she was an outstanding cheer person. I played some ball, but every time I look over, she was cheering, cheering, cheering. Yeah. I think, first of all, I enjoyed school. I had fine teachers. I enjoyed sports. We had fine sports in our school. And school was a very positive place to be. And I went on to college, Bowling Green, came out with my degree. That summer, we married. Then I went to Western Reserve for another degree, and it was there that the only school district, and we had in the cafeteria, we had people from various schools come in to interview. Berea was the only school system that I interviewed with. At that time, the superintendent was a wonderful person. He's passed away. And I never regretted coming into the Berea school system. Yeah. I've been just about in every school. I don't know what happened to Ford School. Is that still part of the... Huh? No? Well, it was then. And then we opened up the Middleburg Heights, and that was a middle school, so to speak. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful career for me.